All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning into When Coffee Meets Tea, Episode 3. I am Rob Gerard.
I'm Denise Bertolovitz.
Denise, how you doing today?
I'm doing okay, Rob. How are you doing?
Not bad, not bad.
Nice.
I know your favorite saying is "Not today, Satan," and I was considering naming you Satan and just being like, "Not today, Denise."
Well, you know what? You wouldn't be the first one to do that. They always say, hey, no one's perfect. We have a devil on one side and an angel on the other.
Listen, you were doing so well with not being late, and you completely fell off the wagon.
I mean, I kiboshed it.
Dude, the wagon ran over you.
When I tell you, oh my God, that's true. You know what? Accountability is a huge part of self-improvement. So I'm not going to argue that at all. I kiboshed it today. Total sabotage
You know
today.
what I think
and
it
this,
was?
You know what? This is going to go, I want to hear what you think it was.
Well, here's the thing. So last episode, I think it was last episode, I had said, Denise, talk about a goal that you actually set out to do and then achieved. And you said being on time.
I know. You know what? I got too confident.
I think that's what
it
was.
I did, because it's interesting that you said that, because all week I did really well. I struggled a little bit yesterday. That I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
And maybe, I think I got a little bit too confident. And then last minute, I got distracted. So to your point, my confidence kicked in. And then I was like, oh no, I have time to do this one more thing. Oh no. Okay. Oh, my brother just called. Instead of saying, can you just call me from the car? I should have done that. So yeah, we all have those moments. So
it's almost like in relationships when you've been with someone for a while and you feel like, okay, I've made it. I don't need to continue to do this ongoing maintenance.
Wow.
Because I'm already in this relationship, right? So
I never thought of that.
Yeah, so I know when I'm talking with people and we're talking about relationships, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. We talk about how relationships are like cars. If I never changed the oil or never filled up, I would not be driving for very long.
It's interesting that you said that, because as I'm thinking about that, when I was younger, my mom and my grandma always used to say, especially my grandma, never let yourself go. Never let yourself go. That was always her saying, like, after you are in a relationship and you get married or this or that, just take care of yourself. It's very important. But
So
they never told me from a how you treat each other perspective. And not saying that is such a highlight for our viewers too, because it's not just about what we are looking like or how we feel. It's how we treat others, right?
Wow. Yeah.
That's yes. And I am very accountable. Today was just, hey, you know what? I am first to say this is why we're all here, self-improvement.
Yeah.
And I would definitely say that has been my struggle. That has definitely been my struggle. And today we're talking about energy, mental energy.
Oh, yeah.
So this is going to be definitely something that I am working on, because what happens when we're late, right? Where does our energy go?
Yeah.
Negative.
Listen,
Negative,
you're
right?
nailing it right on the head, and I know we were talking really, during the week about energy, mental energy, and to me, mental energy is huge, right? Because mental energy, it's a mood, right? Mental energy is a mood, but it can also be defined as the ability or willingness to do something. So where are we putting our, and I'm prepared to go pretty deep into this mental energy talk today, and I know you are too. So mental energy isn't just about attitude. It's truly about what can your thoughts evolve to.
Absolutely.
How big can you go? How much can it evolve to?
Absolutely. I mean, and when we talk about energy, I just want our viewers to know that when we talk about energy, there are so many definitions to that. So I love how you just define that as a mood, you know, and just kind of spinning off that in the terms of, different types of energies. So today we're just going to focus on mental energy and how it either lifts us up or it can bring us down. And I don't want to talk about just our energy. Let's talk about other people's energy too, Rob, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about how that can impact us also.
So studies show, right, that people have a limited amount of mental energy to spend each day. And once that resource is depleted, your decision making and productivity rapidly decline. So think about it,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's like we have this tank, and once we drain the tank each day, you can't go and refill it that day. Really, it's like once it's gone, it's gone. So that's what studies show, and I'm not saying I believe everything that the studies show, but that makes there's a certain amount of I think kind of sense that makes. What do you think?
That absolutely makes sense, right? And as you are saying that, I'm picturing, well, I'll use myself as an example, or just women in general, right? We as women play many different roles in our lifetime. Okay, so when I'll just talk about obviously my age group now, which is
Which is 30s.
30s. Oh,
Oh,
thank you.
no problem. Listen, absolutely.
In terms of women, like we take on several roles a day. So we can roll out of bed, be energized, and then by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, after we get the kids off to school, things are happening. We're being pulled in every direction. We have a
Mm,
career, we have a home, we have this, we have that to take care of. This energy that we're putting toward others is now depleted, right? That
yeah.
mental energy, that mood, because it just sometimes takes that one thing to take us off course, to turn our mood from positive to negative.
Definitely. And I think about myself, right? I've always kind of looked at myself as a morning person. I feel like I function at a very high level in the morning, and I'm usually my sharpest. That's usually when I get most of my work done. And when it comes time to coming home at night, it's like I'm definitely not useless. I can definitely be of use to do things, but I tell you, when it comes to
Mm.
usually I'm pretty depleted at that point.
That's interesting you said that because critically thinking, well, any type of thinking, right, from one overthinker to the other,
Yep.
is definitely depleting depending on the subject matter, right? So a lot of times, especially in a career that is demanding from a people perspective, right?
Mm.
Because here's the difference between, and I've worked both type of careers. So from a people perspective, you're speaking to someone and you cannot control what is going to come back to you in those conversations, meaning their mood. You may walk
Mm.
into work one day and everybody's happy, and the next day they're not. Or maybe they're happy for an hour and the next day or a few hours later they're not. Whereas opposed to a job, critical thinking, meaning numbers, let's say accounting, finance. Again, you never can control anything in life, but here's the difference. You have more control over how you manage that problem solving. You can walk away. You can take a minute to stop and say, okay, I'm going to walk away, have a cup of coffee, think about these numbers, figure out what's going on, solve that problem. Not as draining as can't walk away from this person,
Mm.
have to deal with this team, have to be in this whole entire environment without an escape. Definitely a difference. Definitely more of an impact, I think, on the mood. What do you
Wow.
think about that?
Yeah, so I agree with much of what you're saying, and I want to throw a theory at you and just kind of see what you think. We haven't talked about this before, so and really none of our stuff that Denise and I ever talk about is rehearsed. And I was
Mm,
actually talking with Paul, our video guy, before the show, and we're basically saying like, yeah, none of this is rehearsed. Like we discuss a topic here and there, but this is all kind of freestyled. So I have a theory, right, that picture evolution, right? Picture evolution. Evolution is starting from one thing, continuing to evolve, and hopefully never going backward, right? Like
mm-hmm.
I think that mental energy evolves, and I think it continues to evolve. So if you are spending your mental energy going home and watching Netflix every day, and that's really it, and not doing anything that involves critical thinking or challenging or anything you're passionate about, I think you're going to see an end result that isn't that desirable. Now, if you have a job that you are passionate about, if you have a family
Mm,
and friends and activities and a hobby that you are passionate about, I think that stuff continues to evolve. So
mm,
is your mental energy evolving in the positive or the negative? You know how there's just some people that you see that they just have this positive vibe about them, this positive aura, and it's
Yeah.
like you can't really say a bad thing about the person.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And I love where you're going with this theory. And I've never thought of that before because it's true, right? It goes back to your focus. Where you put your focus is where your life's going, but where you put your energy is where your life's going too,
Yeah.
right? So, to your point, if you
And that's one and the
are
same, right? Mental energy and focus.
definitely,
I mean, it's just kind of,
yeah, both take a drive, right? An ambition, a a a mental ability, right? So
yeah.
to your point, if and there's no right or wrong, right? How we all choose to live our life is how we're going to choose our to live our life. Some people like to watch Netflix every day. That's their way of winding down, right? And at
Mm,
the end of the day, the outcome of their life is going to be the consequence or the choice that they make. And again, I don't want to say consequence. It's going to be how they choose to live their life. And I have to tell you, it is kind of fun to have that friend that just watches TV all the time because I'm like, they actually make it exciting for me because I am not a TV watcher. And then they'll tell me all of these shows. I'm like, oh, really? That sounds cool. Oh, I got to watch that.
well,
Of course, I never do, but I'm like,
listen,
wow, that's pretty cool.
couch potatoes have an amazing way of making you be like, man, I'm missing out on a lot not being a couch potato.
See, and that's what I mean by there's no right or wrong because that is their choice. And I always think, okay, TV watcher, that's so cool because that's how they're living their life vicariously. Some people like to watch life and some people like to live life,
Yeah.
right? So the people who live life, just different opinion, right? So those are the people who are using their mental energy toward ways to have experiences,
Yeah.
ways to better themselves. And again, those experiences are going to drive their mood, just like the person who's the couch potato and uses their mental energy toward the TV, the shows are going to drive their mood, right? I'm
Yeah.
going to be so freaked out if I'm watching a really scary show, right? My mental energy,
Yeah.
my mood is going to change. I'm going to be afraid. Whereas opposed to I'm watching something romantic, now I'm going to be all like mushy gushy, lovey dovey,
Yep. Yep.
right?
Absolutely. So, when it comes to the mental energy thing, I think about, okay, am I harnessing my mental energy in the right way, right? And if mental energy truly does evolve and continue to grow almost like a muscle does, right? It's just, if mental energy is a muscle, am I continuously working it out to the point where I have a bigger muscle than the next guy or the next woman? So I'm going to talk about aliens for a minute. Okay.
Oh boy.
Are you ready?
A friend of mine had a match date like this once. Oh my gosh, she had me roaring. But we'll do that on another
Okay.
episode.
Yep.
That was so funny though.
So aliens, right? If you believe in aliens or not, right? So there's this theory that if there are aliens of another life form, which I completely believe there is, I think that it would be selfish of me and egotistical of me to think that we are the only thing in this galaxy.
Superior beings, right?
Yeah,
right?
Come on, please. So there's this theory that chances are there are aliens out there that have been around for thousands, if not millions of years, right? So they have continued to evolve over millions of years. Now, when there are UFO sightings, for example, right? When there are UFO sightings, chances are they want to be seen. They're not like slipping up and being like, oh no, the humans saw us. Oh, we made a mistake. No, chances are they want to be seen. So think about how far we've evolved just with technology in the last 100 years.
Oh
In the last 100 years, we've evolved completely.
Incredible.
Incredible how much we've evolved in just 100 years. Imagine if today we made the day where we were truly harnessing our mental energy into the positive and productive and the things that we were truly passionate about. Could you imagine where we would be maybe 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now? And a lot of our listeners, I think, probably are already doing things they're passionate about. So good for you. I'm jealous because I don't always have the ability or the time in my schedule to do only passion projects. But that's the beautiful thing about having a job that you love. If DJ Chris Rush always said, if you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life.
That's absolutely true. And I wish you could have seen my face as you're talking, because that you have me literally in awe, in the sense of just your theory and how we as humans are so prone to looking on the outside of what's around us, on developing, to your point, technology.
Well, and I don't know if it's my theory. I think I'm just borrowing from a lot of other theories.
So you're piggybacking
Yes,
off of it,
definitely.
which is fine, because again, you're still taking something that's existing and you're evolving it. You're evolving it into your own thoughts, which is then going to evolve your own life. And that's why I always tell people, reading is knowledge. Read, accept, and take that on. But going back to human behaviors, like, we're constantly looking at how we're going to evolve everything outside of us. We forget that we exist, that we need to look inward, and that we need to evolve, because we may be evolving education wise or how we're able to use this technology, but are we developing and evolving emotionally? Because that is what mental energy is. It's emotions. It's how we are feeling those emotions.
Yes.
And how they impact our body, which is what you were saying about the physical aspect. So this goes back to my old Tough Mudder days, right?
Oh my God. I haven't heard you. I have not heard you name drop Tough Mudder in probably about 5 years.
No, because
I was actually thinking
haven't
about
done
you.
one that long.
I was thinking about you a few weeks ago. And I was like, oh my God, she did Tough Mudders. I can remember seeing the pictures of you in your skin tight tank top, mud all over you, just flexing,
I mean, it was great times, and we raised a lot of money for charity. But
great.
I'll tell you, greatest thing of being on a team and having team leaders that were so dedicated to not just developing our physical strength, but our mental strength. I would say 80%, I almost said 90, but 80% of that is mental. Okay, because that is, at the end of the day, you are going to get so physically tired. We knew that, we trained, we were ready, but at the end of the day, it's mentally not losing that energy through that race, through that 14 miles, sometimes 12. Vermont was just brutal.
So
Vermont was way up, just 9 miles intense, but you don't want to lose that mental ability to keep telling yourself, keep on going, keep on going, keep on going.
It's like the saying, if you think you can, you're right.
Oh my God.
And if you think you can't, you're right.
I love that book. I think I can. I think I can. I love that.
Is that Dr.
book.
Seuss?
Oh, I don't know. Who knows?
I know. I have no idea.
I can't even be on time today. Now you're asking me to remember an
I know,
author.
I know. Way above your
Now
pay
we
grade.
have you. People know. They're going to be like, how's this girl helping everyone when she can't even be on time?
No, but listen.
I'm at home thinking.
And the beautiful thing, though, about, I think us even just being able to, talk about your being late, or me being like, I need to get in shape. I need to get in the shape I want to be in, is the fact that, listen, we are not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, and we are not, we're not nervous about putting it out there. You know what I mean?
No. You know what? And I do. I really love that about working with you, is that we can be always honest and open, and we're not just here to help others. We're here to help each other too.
Absolutely.
And help ourselves grow and just be more mentally energetic.
Yes.
Which I love.
So with that being said, before we wrap up, want to give a quick shout out to Candlewood Coffee. Definitely go to our Instagram. You can get the link to buy Denise's Positivity and to get Robbie's Roast Coffee. So beautiful. It's really good stuff.
You're killing me. You're killing me in the coffee sales, though, I gotta say.
Listen.
Everybody loves their coffee.
Everyone loves their
coffee. What's up with the tea? People just like to spill the tea. They don't. I don't want no gossip.
Exactly.
Drink the positivity.
Exactly. So, all right. So what we're going to do, we're going to wrap up. And, Denise, it was great talking to you. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. As always, we appreciate you. Don't forget to interact with us on the Instagram page and all that good stuff. And we have other pages, but the Instagram, I think, is mostly where we are, is mostly what we keep updated and whatnot. You know,
definitely. And you know what? I just want to shout out one thing in terms of energy and whatnot, like I have to say something about you and compliment you because your mental energy is always so stable and it's
Oh,
just so consistent.
thank you. My
And
wife would say otherwise, though.
well, our spouses are always, well, I don't have a spouse anymore. But that's a whole different story from 13 years ago.
Yep, yep, yep.
Rob's just like, what a mess today. He's trying not to look at me because he doesn't want me to crack him up too much.
I know, exactly. But yeah, listen, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's one day at a time, and I think it's one of those things where we can't feed others if our oven is empty, if we can't give someone else something to
Absolutely.
drink if our well is dry, kind of thing. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
super important. Self-care is super important. I know we're planning on talking about that next episode. So,
I'm excited for that episode. It's going
yeah,
to be wonderful.
yeah,
Well, thank you. Thank you to our listeners. Thank you, Rob. I
Yeah.
love how you told our listeners that we do not prepare. We just pick a topic, and this is such a great working relationship. And I mean, I just come here to have a conversation with Rob every week.
Cheers to
To
that.
have some tea,
Clink, clink.
coffee.
All right, guys. So with that being said, I'm Rob Gerard.
I'm Denise Bertolovitz.
Have a good one.